Thank you very much for the invitation to speak here today. My name is Philipp. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Chronext. So, what is Chronext? As we like to say, Chronext is creating the digital platform for the luxury watch industry. What that means specifically is that we're a fully transactional marketplace for both new and pre-owned luxury watches, and we help retailers, consumers, and watch brands in over 130 countries buy and sell luxury watches online. So very similar to Farfetch in the fashion world, we have access to the inventory of these retailers and consumers, and we manage the whole transaction, which means pre-sale service, after-sale service, logistics, payment and authentication. So it feels like an e-commerce experience to the consumer with the benefits of a marketplace in the background. Now, when people think of luxury watches, there's often the notion that this is a lover's market, it's a niche market, how big is the industry really? And if you look at the luxury watch industry, what you will find is that you have this 60 to 80 billion euro market that from a perspective today is still mostly offline, it's mostly new watches. The main buyers are generation baby boomers and Gen X. And even though a lot of research happens online, the transaction is still offline in the transaction in the traditional retail space. What we think in the future is that there will be a growth in the watch industry, especially on the pre-owned side, through the rise of vintage, through the rise of certified pre-owned. There will be more consumers of the millennial generation. Over 100% of the transactions will be online researched and online induced with a heavy omni-channel and click and collect element. So if you look at the luxury watch industry, like I said, it's 60 to 80 billion euros online. And what's very interesting is you have a global product. So a luxury watch is the same whether it's in China, whether it's in the US, or whether it's in the Netherlands. You cater to a very similar consumer. You're dealing in a very small item. You have arbitrage effects from being cross-border. And you have a very long product life cycle. So the product doesn't change like in fashion every 6 months. And if you look at the watch industry today, depending on the study, only around 2% of all transactions happen online. And if you look at fashion, that's already close to 20%. So we believe this being a globally standardized product with a lot of research before, consumers research online, and this will become a transaction that will also happen online. Now, one of the things I always like to show is you have a structural fulfillment cost advantage dealing in luxury watches online. A Rolex is not that much bigger than a tennis ball. The weight is also roughly the same. Now, from a fulfillment cost perspective, what you can see is a tennis ball is around 2 euros, if it's a really good one. Then you have around 5 euros in fulfillment costs just because of the size, and the cost ratio is 2.5x. For a Rolex Steel Daytona that trades at roughly 24,000 euros market price, the transactional cost from a fulfillment perspective is not that much higher, but the AOV with 20,000 is obviously much higher, which gives you a structural advantage from a fulfillment and handling perspective. So what is our goal? We help retailers and brands sell luxury watches that are new online and market their inventory in a data-driven and smarter way. But especially pre-owned luxury watches is the fastest growing sub-vertical for us. And we want to become the leader in certified pre-owned luxury watches globally. If you look at the pre-owned watch markets, the opportunity is arguably even larger than in the new watch space. There's around 800 billion euros in inventory sitting across the globe in people's houses, on people's wrists that is not traded. But even 15 to 20 billion of this is already liquid every year. And that's largely offline, super fragmented, and you can see on the left, it's either the very kind of old school stuffy pre-owned buying experience or the ultra fancy kind of more mechanical auction type experience. But that is really changing, and we're driving that. So we believe that pre-owned watches are naturally suited for online simply because they're unique by virtue of being pre-owned. Every pre-owned watch is different, so selection is really king, and there's no selection like having unlimited real estate online. So what do we believe needs to happen to be the winner in the pre-owned watch space? And there's 3 kind of pillars or foundations in our view from an operational perspective that you really need to own. The first one is pricing. Watch pricing is extremely complicated, and we have developed a pricing engine over the last 6 years that completely manages the whole pricing and automates certified pre-owned watch pricing. The second one is authentication. You need to ensure that the product is guaranteed authentic, also from a quality perspective. And you need to create a customer-friendly global platform that is intuitive to use and that generates trust. Because I know I'm trustworthy. How do you know that I'm trustworthy? So that comes through the product. So from a pricing perspective, we've developed a pricing engine over the last 6 years that can essentially price any pre-owned luxury watch in the globe within 12 seconds. And this is very interesting because we're now actually using this as a tool to give independent retailers the ability to accept trade-ins, very similar to AutoOne, and to resell those instantly to us. So that is something that we've developed over the last 6 years that is a great source of supply for us, and at the same time means that we're the quickest to price these watches with an instant binding and consignment offer to the consumer, both on the buy side and on the sell side. Now, authentication is something that we were always asked when we started the business. How do you actually know that this is a real watch? And the truth is, you need expertise. So we have 159 years of cumulative watchmaker experience in the company. And these watchmakers are actually people that are sitting in one of our watch authentication hubs that do nothing all day except for refurbish and check watches for quality and authenticity. Every watch that Chronext sells is actually touched by us, authenticated by us, gift wrapped and shipped to the consumer. We never sell products that are drop shipped. Every single product is authenticated by us. So we have a 6-step authenticity process that we've developed that is rigorous in its quality, but at the same time ultra scalable. And our mission, like I said, is to become the most relaxed way to buy, sell, and own a luxury watch. And what that entails in our eyes is to have one of the largest directly available selections for both new and pre-owned and vintage luxury watches. It means selling all watches, regardless whether they're pre-owned with a 24-month warranty. It means personal customer service. We have a 24-hour advisory and support line that you can reach on the telephone with an average pickup time of 9 seconds if you call, so there's no waiting there. And most importantly, we also have 16 locations across the globe on all continents where you can actually physically pick up your watch even though you buy it online if you are still not 100% sure if you want to make that purchase and if you want to see the product first. What we also believe, looking again at specifically pre-owned, becoming the leader currently for 42 brands in the pre-owned space means that you need to offer the warranty, like I said, but you need to create the highest standards to also validate the item and really show this to the consumer, which means despite being a marketplace, we control all product content, we control all photography, and every pre-sale concern, whether it's email, live chat, or telephone, is done with us and not with the retailer or the consumer. So you have great value for money, and you have next day availability for over 51% of the products because we do the fulfillment. So what we really believe, and as a last cornerstone to drive pre-owned, is a very intuitive and simple way to sell the product. If you want to sell a pre-owned watch offline today, you'll probably go to a pre-owned watch retailer somewhere near a train station, which is not going to give you the, feeling that this is the most trustworthy place to sell your watch, and is the pricing really correct? So we've built a way that you can do this online, mobile first, very simple. You fill out a form, and within 24 hours or less, you get a price quote that is binding for you, for the consumer, and you essentially see what the price of your watch is without having to entail the stress of shopping around, without having the feeling that somebody is not giving you a fair price, and that is data-driven and validated. So what have we achieved so far? We have the #1 market position from being a transactional retailer or marketplace in Germany, Austria, and Switzerland. We've grown 141% on average in the last 4 years and grew in May this year 168% year on year, so the growth is actually accelerating. 15 brands are currently working with us directly to either manage their new watch operations online or pre-owned. We have over 10,000 items online at any given time that are directly available, 51% next day. There's obviously a huge market opportunity with a high AOV, but the most interesting aspect is that even today, especially on the new watch side, we have access to 1.2 billion euros in new watch inventory every year. And this is what generated 30,000 happy consumers over the last 6 years. So what's ahead? We want to continue growing like we grew in Q1, over 100% or over 160% in May. We will continue internationalizing the business with a specific focus on the Asian markets and the United States to truly globalize the business and have more arbitrage effects from becoming a global marketplace even more. We're going to drive brand partnerships further to help watch brands manage their pre-owned and new watch operations. And most importantly, we want to accelerate the certified pre-owned growth that we have today to truly create the #1 and most intuitive way for a consumer to buy, sell, and own both a brand new and pre-owned luxury timepiece. Thank you very much.
Philipp and Chronext, thank you very much.